Most of the time, cats are the picture of grace. With their delicate movements and sleek fur, they put us clumsy humans to shame, which is why it can be so surprising when you see your cat suddenly flop onto the ground. Of course, in true feline fashion, even this flop is somehow just as graceful as everything else they do. But it does raise the question, why? Surely throwing themselves to the ground so dramatically isn't that comfortable? And when they reveal their belly only to claw at your hand the second you try to touch them, it becomes even more confusing. In this video, we'll explore the real reason why cats flop to the ground in front of you. Can they trust you? Cats are known for being guarded creatures. They don't like to reveal their stomach too much. It's one of the most sensitive areas of their body, and they prefer to keep it as protected as possible. So when they see you and roll over, many cat parents assume it's an invitation for a belly rub, but in most cases that's not true. Instead, this gesture is a sign of trust. Your cat is comfortable enough with you to expose their softest, most vulnerable part, trusting that you won't take advantage of the opportunity. Only a select few cats enjoy belly rubs, and even then, only when they trust their human completely. If your cat lets you near their belly, consider it a high honor. Pay attention to meow. Despite common belief, cats aren't always aloof. Many of them are incredibly affectionate, and they are masters at getting what they want. They might not want you to touch their belly, but that doesn't mean they don't want attention. Many cats flop onto the ground in front of you as a way of saying, "Hey, look at me." If they think you're too focused on something else, this dramatic move is their way of redirecting your attention back to them. And let's be honest, it works every time. They know their behavior is adorable, and they use it to their advantage. Sometimes they'll even roll over and meow just to make sure they've got your full focus. Marking their territory. Another reason cats drop to the floor is similar to how they rub themselves against your legs. It's all about scent marking. Cats have scent glands in their heads, paws, and the base of their tails, which they use to mark their territory. By flopping onto the floor and rolling around, they're spreading their scent, claiming the space as their own. This territorial behavior extends to their favorite napping spots, household objects, and even you. It's a far cleaner method than spraying, which is another way intact cats mark their domain. So when your cat rolls around on the floor, they're leaving behind a little message. This is mine. Sneaking a sniff of catnip eyes there, a toy involved in your cat's sudden floor-flopping behavior? If so, their favorite stuffed mouse likely isn't just full of stuffing, it probably contains catnip. Only 50 to 70% of cats react to catnip. But those that do often display bizarre behaviors, one of the most common being rolling. Catnip contains a compound called nepetalactone, which triggers a playful high in felines. While some cats become aggressive under its influence, most experience a state of bliss, rubbing their faces, rolling around, and even licking the object infused with catnip. If your cat flops onto the floor and starts rolling with their toy, they might just be enjoying their own little catnip-induced euphoria. Let's roll. It's playtime. If you think your cat is weird for throwing themselves to the ground so dramatically, well, they probably think you're the weird one for not joining in. To them, rolling around on the floor is just good fun. It keeps them active, helps them burn off energy, and gets your attention too. The more you react to their antics with playtime, the more they'll keep doing it. Cats love to hone their hunting skills, and play is a great way to practice. Plus, it strengthens their bond with you. So next time your cat rolls around, consider taking a cue from them. Get down on the floor and join in the fun. They're in heat. Sometimes your cat's rolling isn't about you at all. If you have an intact female cat, she's more likely to roll around when she's in heat. Cats in heat can look a bit odd. They roll around while keeping their rear end raised, meowing or yowling more than usual. This behavior, along with the pheromones they release, is their way of signaling to intact males that they're available and ready to mate. Summertime and the rollin' is cooling. Unlike humans, cats don't sweat in the same way we do. They also have a higher body temperature, which makes it harder for them to cool down, especially in the summer. A study by the National Research Council found that cats prefer temperatures between 86 to 97 degrees Celsius. This explains why they always seek out warm, cozy spots, but even they have their limits. On particularly hot days, rolling onto a cool surface helps them regulate their temperature. Whether it's a concrete floor, wooden floorboards, or even dirt, if it's cooler than they are, they'll flop onto it. Some cats even take dust baths, rolling in dirt to reach the cooler layer beneath the surface. They feel threatened. Unlike dogs, cats don't usually roll over as a sign of submission. Instead, rolling onto their back can be a defensive position. If a cat feels threatened, rolling over allows them to use all four paws to defend themselves. Those claws and teeth come into play fast when a cat feels the need to protect themselves, making this a strategic move rather than a vulnerable one. Don't worry, be happy. On the flip side, rolling can also be a sign of complete relaxation. If a cat is rolling without any tension in their body, it's likely because they feel safe and content. A happy cat will often roll in front of their owner as a greeting, especially when you return home after being away. An itch they can't scratch, even. The most flexible cats sometimes struggle to reach an itch. If grooming doesn't help, rolling on the floor is the next best option. Rugs, carpets, and even hardwood floors provide just the right texture for a satisfying scratch. However, if your cat is rolling more than usual, it might be worth checking. For skin irritations, fleas, or allergies, a full-body stretch after a long nap, the first thing most creatures do is stretch. Cats, being the nap masters that they are, have perfected the art of the post-sleep stretch. Sometimes they're too lazy to get up properly, so they roll onto their back to stretch out their legs, back, and neck without moving too much. If they do this when they see you approaching, it might just be their way of saying a sleepy good morning, sniffing your feet. If your cat flops down in front of you and then nosedives toward your feet, it might seem a little strange. But to them, your feet are a concentrated source of your scent, and scent is incredibly important to cats. They find comfort in familiar smells, which is why they might enjoy burrowing into your laundry, or in this case, rolling around at your feet. Other quirky cat behaviors. Flopping onto the floor isn't the only weird thing cats do. From zoomies to headbutting, bunting to kneading, and even bringing you gifts, their behaviors can be both amusing and mysterious. But one thing's for sure, each of these quirks tells you something about your cat's personality, instincts, and how much they trust and love you.